Hi everyone, my name is Keith Gerein and I am a columnist with the Edmonton Journal. I am recording this just moments after the swearing-in ceremony for the new Edmonton Mayor, Amarjeet Sohi, and the new Edmonton City Council. It is the start of a new era at City Hall, which means it is also the end of the old era, the Don Iveson era. Not that Don Iveson is old, far from it. He is still a young man, he still has political capital to spend, and we will see him again in the world of politics pretty quickly, I'm sure. But looking back over the first half of his political career, what did that mean? What was the Don Iveson era at City Hall about? What were its qualities and accomplishments? What was its legacy? It's difficult to find at this stage. It doesn't stand out in the way maybe it did for other mayors. And part of that is because Iveson's accomplishments are not so much about bricks and mortar, but more about policy, about relationships, about changed ways of thinking. Of course, Edmontonians have their opinions on this. And when you spend as long in office as Don Iveson did, 14 years on council, 8 as the mayor, you're going to develop some critics. And so critics will point to things like high taxes, infrastructure problems that the city had with some of its high-profile projects, acrimony with the provincial government. Some may even take issue with Iveson's leadership style, that he spent maybe too much time with esoteric policy and not enough focus on the everyday experiences of Edmontonians. And that's all valid. But in my view, the list of positives greatly outweighs the list of negatives. It's just a question of what you want to talk about. So things like the years he spent as head of the Big City Mayor's Caucus, which brought Edmonton a lot of national exposure, and who knows, maybe changed some opinions, changed some stereotypes of how Canadians think about Alberta. You could talk about his work with the region, with other regional mayors to kind of get Edmonton and its surrounding municipalities all kind of walking in the same direction. His leadership during the pandemic was very strong, especially since there wasn't much coming from the legislature. But honestly, I think the best shot to define Iveson's legacy comes in some of the really difficult policy work he and his council attempted. So things like ambitious plans on climate change, changes to policing and community safety that were mandated after the Black Lives Matter movement, issues on homelessness, that didn't get as far as Iveson wanted, but it was a noble attempt. And then the city charters that he and the head Nenshi of Calgary developed. That was lost when the UCP government reneged on their promise, but the concept lived for a time and it could potentially live again. These are all very sort of difficult things to kind of wrap your head around, and they may not see results for years. And because of that, Iveson's accomplishments may not be fully appreciated in his time or ever, but I am confident that he has made a lasting difference to Edmonton. Thanks for listening. Keep checking my columns and edmontonjournal.com for more updates on municipal politics.